Thank you. Good evening, everybody. The City of Peabody Zoning Board of Appeals meets remotely, unfortunately, this evening, in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40A, and Governor Baker's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. Individuals may participate remotely in the meeting via a participation platform called Zoom. The hearing will be conducted in the following manner. The Secretary will read the legal notice. Chairwoman will invite the applicant or applicant's representative to present to the board. Chair may limit the length of all remarks. All parties will be given an opportunity to speak in favor or in opposition and must keep to the subject. The board may receive similar written communications to be placed on the public record. The chair will ask those who would like to speak either in favor or against to use the raise hand feature. Those calling in via telephone will be asked if they would like to speak on the matter. Anyone with their hand raised will be called upon, unmuted, and speak on the matter at hand. You must first state your name and address for the record, identify if you are in favor or in opposition. The applicant will be afforded the time to answer any of the questions posed. Once all questions by the abutters and board members are answered, the board will vote. I will call for a roll call vote. I will reiterate the outcome, either approved or denied. Applicant may log off and will receive an email with instructions on Tuesday from Carla McGrath. I will then move on to the next agenda item, and I reserve the right to change the order of the agenda. Tonight we will go in order. And please be prepared to present at any time during the proceedings. This evening, March 15th, we have a continued application.
Fran, if I can just for a minute.
Okay,
I'm getting text messages that residents still can't get in. So maybe we can announce the password over PATV to allow them access.
The password is?
No, Pat TV has to do it.
Oh, Pat TV has to do it. Does Pat TV know what it is?
No, but you can tell Jim.
Jim, can you hear me? 514458. 514458. All set? Okay, I believe we're all set. So number one is a continued application of Northeast Arms. We do not read that into the record. The attorney has requested another continuance, and Mr. Senzabar, do you have that request in front of you?
I do. From Attorney Jack Kelty, please accept, this is an email dated Wednesday, March 10th to Carla McGrath. Please accept this email as my request that the Northeast Arms matter be continued to the next meeting of the ZBA scheduled for April 26th. I have been given a video of a portable firing range, which I cannot forward and share in its current format. We will try to work out those technical issues and forward to the ZBA and neighbors. Thank you in advance.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept the continuance, please? It will be continued and rescheduled for April 26th.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion to continue Northeast Arms to April 26th has been approved. Now we have number two, the application of Maria Grace Masucci.
Notice is hereby given that the Board of Appeals of the City of Peabody will hold a public hearing via Zoom remote participation on Monday, March 15th, 7 p.m. on the application Maria Grace Masucci for an administrative appeal from the provision of the zoning ordinance 2019 as amended section 1562, as it applies to the premises known as 11 Michelle Road, Peabody, map 115, lot 341. Petitioner was denied a building permit to turn an accessory structure into a family accessory living area. Property is located in an R1 zoning district. The application is available to the public and can be viewed by contacting Carla McGrath at carla.mcgrath@peabodymass.gov or 5385792 in advance and prior to the public hearing. The agenda for this meeting and instructions on how to access the remote participation platform are posted on the City of Peabody website.
Thank you. Okay, so I'd like to speak a little bit on this before we begin. This is not a variance request. This is an administrative appeal. The zoning board hears and decides appeals by any person aggrieved by reason of his or her inability to obtain a permit or enforcement action under the Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, or this ordinance. So this is an administrative appeal because she did not get a building permit. So they were denied by the building commissioner a permit to turn a pool house, which is an accessory structure, into a parlor. When the petitioner speaks, specifically, we need to know why you think Commissioner Tallarico was wrong in his interpretation of the ordinance and wrong to deny you the building permit. Some of the reasonings that it was denied from some of the zoning ordinances are, so the City of Peabody allows a parlor in a single family home. This is a separate building that you want to turn into a new unit. The City of Peabody zoning, the parlors are allowed to be 700 square feet. So your pool was permitted in 2004 when the ordinance did not include a maximum square footage for an accessory structure. Your structure is 1,125 square feet. Now, today, accessory structures may not be any larger than 500 square feet. So at this point, you are in non-compliance for the accessory structure also. The City of Peabody zoning also states that the parlor must be accessed through the home's front door, through that principal dwelling. Again, this would be a separate dwelling and it violates the zoning. Habitable space is not allowed in an accessory structure, which is your pool house. So just these few, they seem very clear and decisive ordinances. There's no room for interpretation. Habitable space is not allowed in any accessory structure. I do have to say, while your disability and family situation are tragic, and we have in the past denied other people with similar situations, I do not think this administrative appeal should be approved for the reasons that I'm also going to state in also. So if we approve this, it would set a precedent that would allow anybody that has a garage, a two-car garage, a shed, to turn it into a parlor. That we can't allow that. That doesn't happen. That's about what I want to state right now. I'll let the board add to this after Ms. Masucci gives us her reasons why she thinks that her permit was denied and it should be overturned. So Ms. Masucci, are you, Vincent, I'm sorry. Are you ready to tell us your reasonings here?
Yes. Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
So do I have to give you, like, my name is Vincent Masucci. I currently live at 344 Essex Street in Lynn, Mass. I am the brother of Maria Masucci, the applicant for this variance, which you said it's not now. Maria lives at and owns 11 Michelle Road. She has been there since the house was built back in 1993. Myself, my wife, Karen, and my granddaughter, Adriana, are the reason this variance has been put in. My sister graciously offered her pool house. It was built in 2005 to be used as an in-law living quarters. We would like to make it handicap accessible.
Okay, well, I just have to stop you for 1 second. I'm really sorry, but we
That's
have to
okay.
use the correct terminology. This is not a variance.
Okay,
So this is an administrative appeal because you were not even given a building permit. So you're not here for a variance. I just want to make that clear, okay?
Okay, that's what I was told. That's the only reason why I'm saying it. That's what that was related to me, that this was a variance, but, okay. Okay, I have muscular dystrophy and will be wheelchair bound in the future. And this is on level ground with the street, making it a prime choice. I spoke with the Massachusetts Office on Disability. The assistant director's name is Jeffrey Dugan. He advised me to put in a disability hardship of the section 6.72 of being connected to the house. This would require me to go up 7 steps through the main dwelling and down 6 steps into the so-called pool house in-law apartment. He also advised me to put in a financial hardship, as the cost of connecting the pool house to the main house and making handicap accessible would be tough on us. The main reason we're trying to move in the pool house with our limited budget is for our granddaughter, Adriana. She is 4 years old and lives with us. The reason she lives with us is because her mother, my daughter Vanessa, was murdered by her husband 3 years ago. Her monster of a father is now serving a life sentence for murder with no chance of parole. Adriana was 1 year old when she lost her mom and lost her so-called dad for life. She has lived with us since. Where we are living now, I have lived for 51 years in Lynn. It's next to a large elderly project. It had turned into a Section 8 a while back, which was still safe for our family for quite a while, but now it's turned into a drug house with prostitution. We have people banging on our front door and our back door. We have people using our yard as a bathroom and tossing needles into our grass. We have contacted the police and city council and head of housing. They said there is nothing they can do. They cannot evict the person as they are fighting it. There's no way we can raise our granddaughter in this environment. Hence, we had to make a tough decision of leaving all our memories with our 3 children here behind. And our 3 children were all good people. And they were all 3 coaches, and they're all in public school teachers. Well, now 2, as my daughter is gone. My wife, Karen, has worked at Sacred Heart Lynn for over 25 years. It's a rewarding job. She has touched the lives of many, has had her life touched by many, but it is not a well-paying job. As for me being handicapped, I'm on a limited income as a former postal clerk. This is why we are looking to move into the Sisters Pool House. I would also like to note that we will not be adding anything or changing anything outside, as this structure already exists on the property. All we would do is to remodel the inside and make it handicap accessible. As parents and grandparents, we owe it to our daughter Vanessa to give her daughter Adriana the opportunity to live in a safe and comfortable environment. Thank you for your time. I'm done. I'm sorry. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Am I all set? Once again, it's a very tragic story. But, you know, I wish there was something that I could say. There are just too many rules and regulations. And I just don't really think that this is going to fly, but we'll hear from other people from the board if they would like to speak on this matter at all. Anybody? Nobody. Okay, is there anybody that would, we did get, anybody in the audience to speak in favor or in opposition? Anybody? Robin Klickstein?
Hi, my name is Gary Palm. Robin Klickstein is my mother-in-law. We own property on 2 Amanda Way. We agree with a lot that was said in the beginning before the speech. It is a tragic story, but I think there's too many rules that would set a precedent, that would change a neighborhood that has been, developed, and people live in this neighborhood for a period of time and bought homes here for a particular reason. this just will open up the door for 2 dwellings on lots. It's an accessory building, which just goes against, what the structure should be built for. And I understand the hardship, but it's not a hardship by the owner of the property. It is a relative of the property. But so I'd like to oppose this project.
Okay. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else in the audience to speak in favor or in opposition? Donna Papadopoulos?
Yes. I
Go ahead.
also. Can you-
Can you hear anybody? Donna?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I also am in opposition of this. This would open up things to this neighborhood that we should not have. If it was an in-law apartment that met all the criteria that we set forth, I would agree with it. I do not agree with what is being requested. And again, it's not his property, it's his sister's property. And again, I'm sorry for his hardship, but I think they do have other options. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else to speak in favor or in opposition? Okay, hearing none, the matter is before the board. I just need to tell you that Barry Osborne is having computer problems. I know what he's going to vote if that's the case, because he's waiting to reboot. So I think that we should just move on. May I have a motion?
Hello?
Yep. Who's talking?
Hi, my name is Howard Klickstein. I am a butter of this piece of property.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And, listening to the story, I agree it's a sad story, but I believe this variance request has a very strong negative impact to the surrounding properties and throughout the city. And these changes were made years ago when they took away rooms above garages because people were trying to rent out property and trying to put 2 dwellings on the same lot, which totally changes everything that the zoning is there for. And to do this, accessory structures are not intended to be lived in, like you pointed out. And there's quite a few laws here that have just taken this whole thing way too far. This isn't a simple variance. I don't want to build 15 feet away from my house. I want to build 10 feet to the sideline. This is a big deal. And if this was allowed to happen, it just sets up the entire city to start putting 2 houses on every lot, which is, it's just unheard of. It just shouldn't be allowed.
You're muted.
And I think it's detrimental to the property values and what it will do for the city and how many more people are going to be able to move in. It just keeps going.
Okay,
So I hope you'll do the right thing here. I just don't see it.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if Barry does not come back on, which he is still having trouble, then we are going to have Ed vote on this one. Okay, Eddie?
Can I add anything to this? Could I
Mr.
put in?
Masucci? Yeah,
Yes.
would you like to? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's saying like this is opening to the whole city. I mean, I'm coming here with a hardship. If someone else has a hardship that is equal to this, I mean, it's a unique situation where I don't see how the whole city is going to open up to this situation. I mean, would it have been a difference if we connected the house to make it an in-law apartment? I mean, I don't understand. If there's in-law apartments being allowed.
It would have made a difference, and I believe that you did talk to the building commissioner about this, and I believe that he has explained everything to you, and I just sort of reiterated a bit. We're going to take a vote on this. If you would like to go another route, then my suggestion to you is to come in tomorrow or sometime this week and sit down with the building commissioner and work something out. But as this stands right now, this is what we have to vote on what is in front of us at this time.
I'm his wife, Karen. The question
Okay.
is, I think what Vin's trying to say is, the question is, if we were able to connect the two properties up and figure out a way that he could still be able to get in and out because of the handicap, would that be a totally different situation? I mean, if you think it's something that we shouldn't pursue, I would appreciate, just some guidance right here.
Well, a Fowler is 700 square feet.
Okay,
And that would be the living space that is allowed. Once
okay,
again, that's up to you, the building inspector. It's different than what we're going to vote on tonight. Okay,
Okay.
tonight we're voting on an administrative appeal because you did not get a building permit.
okay,
After that, after this gets voted on, if you would like to try another route, then that would be something totally different. And yes, you're more than welcome to try it.
okay. I just, wanted some advice on that.
Sure.
I mean, I'm hoping that people are gonna take this into consideration and, and vote for us is what I'm hoping. But I know you have to do, what's right by you, but we're just
Yep.
trying to do the best for our family. And I'm sure
Oh,
anyone
no.
with a family would understand that. Thank you
Yep.
for your time, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't believe there's anybody else in the audience. So may I have a motion?
Fran, before we move to close the public hearing, I want to make a couple of comments, and I did have a question perhaps for Carla. The comments I guess I have are that, I don't think as a board we have to decide whether or not the building commissioner misinterpreted the ordinances. And I think it's pretty clear what the definition of a phala is. It's something that's within a single family home. It's not something that can be in an accessory structure. So I think that's pretty clear. What's
Yep.
less clear to me is that this applicant filled out a variance application form. And I don't know if that's because the city of Peabody doesn't have a separate form for an administrative appeal. There is a question on the form that asks the applicant if this is an administrative appeal, and they did check the yes box for that, which might clear it up a little bit, but I just wonder if there is some separate form that should have been filled out, and if there isn't, maybe there should be in the future. And then I guess the last point I wanted to make, if we can get an answer to that question, but the last point is that I just think we need to be careful as a zoning board that we're not giving legal advice. I don't think that you did to the petitioner, but I think we have to make sure that it's clear that we're not giving them advice as to whether or not, if they do change it, they're going to be successful or not successful. And I just wanted to clear that up. That's all.
Sure. So what about a separate form?
So the application for the variance and administrative appeal are on the same, it is on the same application. And I went through that with Mr. Masucci, and the commissioner did as well. And I went over the questions that pertained to an administrative appeal and the things that he did not need to fill out, and that were not applicable because those were for variance. So he was made aware of the difference of the two and what he was applying for.
Okay, thank you, Carla. So I think that's where I got my confusion, was that there were certain paragraphs or sections that were filled out, but I suppose the applicant could have put not applicable and moved on.
Right.
And that's fine. And that's how I looked at this application. I sort of disregarded anything that said anything about a variance. But I just wondered if they filled out the wrong form, but that clears it up. Thank you, Carla. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. I need a motion.
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Motion to approve the applicant's administrative appeal.
Second.
Barry, are you with us, Barry? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Dan,
No.
Ed,
Unfortunately, no.
Julie,
no,
Stephen,
No.
Fran,
No, I'm sorry, it's been denied. You can contact Carla at the building department tomorrow, or she will be contacting you. We're now going on to number 3. Dan,
Notice is hereby given that the Board of Appeals of the City of Peabody will hold a public hearing via Zoom remote participation on Monday, March 15, 7 p.m. on the application of, is it Do or Duck Residential LLC, care of Attorney John Kelty for variance in the provision of the zoning ordinance 2019 as amended sections 1051, 739, and 72 as they apply to the premises known as 16 Pearl Street, Peabody, map 105, lot 84. Petitioner seeks a variance for new construction and requires relief to the primary structure. Rear yard setback where 35 feet is required and 22 feet is proposed. Buildable lot width where 60 feet is required and 58 feet is proposed. Buildable lot depth where 40 feet is required and 22 feet is proposed. Open deck rear yard where 24.5 feet is required, 14 feet is proposed. Landscaping where 2 street trees are required and none are proposed. Property is located in R1 zoning district. The application and plan are available to the public and can be viewed by contacting Colin McGrath at carla.mcgrath@pbdmass.gov or 978-538-5792 in advance and prior to the public hearing. The agenda for this meeting and instructions on how to access the remote participation platform are posted on the City of Peabody website.
thank you. Attorney Kelty?
Thank you. Am I on?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. My name is John Kelty. I'm an attorney. I practice law. My offices are at 40 Lowell Street in Peabody, Mass. I represent DUC Residential LLC. They are located at 749 Lowell Street in Linfield, Mass. The property in question is a 10,022 square foot existing lot that was created by, after a zone change was created by a variance, an approval of an A&R, recording of an A&R, so that created the lot. Several years, or approximately a year later, I asked for a variance identical to the variance that's being requested this evening, and you granted that variance. That variance was extended and is now expired. The the developer DUC Residential has been working on a subdivision that is behind this particular lot. There was some question about whether or not we were going to have to change the entrance access egress in such a fashion that this lot that is in question this evening would be utilized. We have now passed that question. There is no need for this lot to be absorbed into the subdivision. That subdivision, by way of an aside, is going to be greatly reduced from 23 lots to a total of about 9. And there will be no need to enter from Pearl Street, and there'll be no need to enter from this end of Pearl Street. So we're requesting the same set of variances that had been requested in the past. We are confident, the excavation has been done. The only excavation remaining will be for utilities connecting the foundation of the premises to the street. And other than that, our excavation is completed. We will now move forward after the expiration of a hopeful appeal period and build this structure on number 16 Pearl Street. Thank you.
I need to be unmuted. Okay. Any comments by the board? No comments?
I have a couple, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Mr. Kelty, when you say the excavation is completed, are you talking about the new subdivision in the back, or are you talking about this one lot?
This one lot, the excavation for the foundation for this structure, it's already completed.
I see the lot has been somewhat cleared, but there's no excavation done there for any kind of footings or foundation.
The lot that we're talking about right now? I was
Yes,
there this afternoon. There's a hole.
well, maybe since Saturday.
No, I don't, I don't think so, Ed. I'm not. But I mean, yes, there is a hole, and that is the excavation that was done some time ago. I mean, it doesn't have any footings. You're correct on that.
Right. I just see a somewhat cleared lot with a little bit more work to do, but basically that doesn't have any bearing on this issue here tonight. But I just wanted to clarify the excavation you were talking about that was complete had nothing to do with the utilities running through Pearl Street for the new development out back.
No, no.
Okay. And the other thing I want to say is it looks like you're looking for a variance on multiple angles of this here. Front, rear, left, right, the whole gamut. So I'm not sure about that. It's not one variance. It is one variance, but it's all sides of this.
There are 4 requests being made. You're correct.
Right.
One is to the addition of a deck, and then there is buildable lot width and depth. We do not exceed coverage, but those are the other variances that were requested in the past, granted, and are the subject of tonight's variance request.
Is there any more excavation to be completed out back on this same piece of property? As what's cleared doesn't seem to be much bigger than what you need to build a structure.
There would be some clearing, and I would imagine, given the topography, yes, in order to clear the rear yard of the premises, yes, there is some more clearing to be done behind the excavation that has already taken place.
Okay, and we're talking about the same lot. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Thank you,
I'm
Ed.
complete. I don't have any more questions.
Thank you. Anybody else have questions or comments? Somebody in the audience that would like to speak? Brian, you may begin. Unmute yourself, please. Name and address for the record.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Brian Usino. I own the house on 13 Ralph Road and 13 Pearl Street area, right across from the proposed property. And I was looking over the specs on it, and they're actually cutting the depth of the lot down almost in half. Now, from being here and this being open and my grandkids playing over there, I've walked over there a few times, and from the sidewalk to where it starts the excavation, they supposedly said for the foundation, it's only 20 feet. So you're talking less than 25, 30 feet from the street. And the other question I have is they have a huge rock in there. And the last time they were here doing excavation, they were pounding away with excavators, with the hammers for 3 days straight. They cracked up the street. If you guys want to come down, I have sewers that are caving in. I have my garage that's been cracked. So I don't know how far they're going to go. Are they going to blast that rock out? Or are they going to continue to hammer it?
Go ahead, Jack.
If there is more work, if there is more rock to be excavated, do you have a choice? Would you prefer blast or?
Well, actually, can I call you Jack? Is that all right? Or do you want
Sure.
an attorney?
Jack is fine.
Okay. Last time there was hammering there, there's a vein that runs across Pearl Street from that lot. And when they were hammering, I had vibrations and pictures were falling off the house. And that's one of the reasons why you guys couldn't get gas up to the other 2 houses that Mr. DiBiase built, one next to me and one at the end of the rotary. They stopped it after we complained to him on Saturdays. Saturday morning, 7 o'clock, they hammered all day long. My neighbor across the street, her pictures were falling off the wall. I had to go out to the guy running the excavator and say, hey, can you cut it out? There's a vein that runs across. runs right under my garage. And ever since then, we've had problems on the streets with cracks. Okay, I have cracks in my garage and my driveway shifting 1.5 inches since you guys did that. So I just want to be clear on what is actually going to go on. And you're cutting it down almost 50% on the depth of the lot. So does that mean it comes forward, or is it going to go backwards? And then we have another issue here with plowing. This is a tight street. There's no place to put the snow. I'm buried every storm. I have the garage, a 32 by 32 garage next to my property. Then I have another driveway. I come home to 5 feet of snow. By putting a house there, it's just going to make things worse. I don't propose the house. I just don't want the cracks in my walls. I mean, if I have to pay for a surveyor to come in, if you guys are going to hammer any crack, are you guys going to be responsible? And do you guys pull out a bond for that? They told me they didn't have a bond last time.
Am I unmuted? Jack, anything?
I just know that if we are intending to blast, we must follow the rules and regulations as presented by the fire department, and that would include pre-blast surveys of adjacent property.
Right, we went through this already, Jack.
I don't think there is a like requirement. So that was my answer.
Are there specific times and days of the week that you can blast?
If the fire department were to place that condition on your blasting, yes. They're all during the daylight. Usually the signal must be given mid-morning, mid-afternoon. In this instance, I don't think you'd be seeing multiple blasts. I think there'd probably only be one which would need to be noticed, if at all.
But being 20 feet from the property line, who's going to cover all the windows in my house? I'm the closest to that lot.
Being 25 feet from the sidewalk. I don't understand the question, actually.
All right, so we're only 40 feet away. My structure is only 40 feet away from that.
Yeah, that would be, you're probably correct.
So, I mean, it's insane. I mean, are you guys going to send out a survey team to survey all the houses around the area? I thought it was within 100 feet. You had to survey all the houses.
That's a blasting requirement, sir.
Right, but we're just talking that if you had to blast, are
Yes.
those in place? Is all that in place right now if you had a blast? Or will this come in front of the
If we are
board again?
blasting, then we would have to acquire the appropriate permit from the fire department, and that would.
No, right, I understand that, but you're going for a variance. Can you build a house without the variance, without blasting?
What's the
Do
question?
you need to blast to build the house?
I think we have completed the blasting. However, my answer to that would be yes, we need to blast to build the house.
So it isn't just a regular variance where you have, you know, access. You have to blast actually still.
If I may jump in here through the chair, is that, correct me if I'm wrong, board members, but I think this might be outside of our purview. This is a fire department issue.
Right.
What we're dealing with is the 4 different requests that are before us on dimension, and the rest of it sounds like it's an issue, regrettably an issue between property owners and ultimately the fire department with respect to whether it's blasting, property damage, etc. I just don't want to go down a wormhole here for either yourself, Brian, or Attorney Kelty.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, where you're putting stuff on the record that you may not be able to live up to or may not have to live up to. So I think that's just a little outside of our purview.
Right. Yeah, we're here. You know, it was good information and we understand your concerns, but at the end of the day, we're here for dimensional relief and a variance request.
Right.
Oh, that's a request after the blasting or before the blasting? That's the question I'm gonna have. Is the variance after they blast or is it before they blast to get the variance?
No, the
That's-
variance is just the variance is just for the dimension that they're requesting. How they get there is between them and any other city organization or agency. No different than a Conservation Commission issue. You know, while we may get guidance from other boards and other areas, this
Right.
is, we're looking strictly at a dimensional issue here, and how they get there is ultimately up to between them, yourself, and any other city or municipal organization.
Right, but it should be up to this board as well, is to
not.
say, all right, well,
It's
if
not.
if the blasting was never taken up, right? And they just went for the
We
variance.
don't deal with, we don't deal with
Okay, all
blasting.
right, that's fine, that's fine. And the other question I have too, to be on record, is DUE residential is not listed with the state of Massachusetts as an LLC yet. So who are they? I checked the other
Paul
day.
DiBiase.
Right, but he's not even listed with the state. I went on to the Secretary of State to type this in. It was never listed.
I have found it on the website for the Commonwealth of Mass.
Well, I was on the Secretary of State the other day and I couldn't
that's
find it. I typed it in
the
just
same
as.
website.
Through the
was
chair,
on-
it's DUC, not DUE. So that might be the reason.
DUC.
Well, I
And you know,
Googled.
once again, I hate
well.
to,
Yeah, but you're
I
giving a
hate-
permit to somebody that, whatever. I'm not gonna get in there. That's fine. Guys, do the best you can. You know, that's all I can say. I'm just concerned. And, you know, it should have been blasting, should have been part of the issue to get the lines that they needed. I understand you're just going for where the house is gonna sit, a variance of over 50%. The other one's what, 22 feet difference, 58 feet difference, 22 feet difference, and a 14-foot difference, right? So, I mean, it's a lot. And when I went in for the variance for my garage, they said I couldn't have it. So, I mean, it's like a double standard
Here
in
it
the
is.
city of Peabody.
how come I'm off here?
All right, gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, all you gentlemen on the board. Any other comments from other people in the audience or from the gentleman on the board? Okay, hearing none, the matter is before this entire board. Eddie, you're on this one too. I don't know what happened to Barry.
Okay,
Okay, matter is before the board, unless you have any other questions or concerns. Hearing none, okay.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion to approve.
Real quick, Dan, sorry not to jump in on your parade, on your vote here, but should we, Jack had mentioned earlier about about no entry to the rear lot. Should we condition this?
that's got nothing to do with this.
There's no potential way through? Okay, then I'm good without a condition then. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. All right, ready for the roll?
Barry, did you hear everything or no? No,
No,
okay,
I'm out.
okay. All right, roll call. I need a second.
I second it.
Oh, thank you, Julie. Roll call vote.
Dan,
Yes.
Ed,
No,
Julie,
Julie,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, yes.
Stephen,
Yes.
Fran,
yes, the motion is granted and approved, and you will hear from Carla tomorrow. Thank you very much. We are now on to number 4, which is FRH Realty LLC.
Notice is hereby given that the Board of Appeals of the City of Peabody will hold a public hearing via Zoom remote participation on Monday, March 15th, 7 p.m. on the application of FRH Realty LLC, care of Attorney John Kelty for a variance from the provision of the zoning ordinance 2019, as amended specifically section 668 as it applies to the premises known as 7 Dearborn Road, Peabody, Mass, map 78, lot 19. Petitioner seeks a variance and requires relief from provisions of the DDD Residential Overlay District. Section 668 as follows: density of 33 units per acre, where 20 units are allowed, 295 parking spaces where 315 are required. Setback from residentially zoned land, 68 feet where 100 feet are required. Max FAR of 0.87 rather than 0.5 allowed. The property is located in a DDD zoning district. The application and plan are available to the public and can be viewed by contacting Colin McGrath at colin.mcgrath@pbdmass.gov or 978-538-5792 in advance and prior to the public hearing. The agenda for this meeting and instructions on how to access a remote participation platform are posted on the City of Peabody website.
Ian, do you have the memo from Conservation?
Yes, I believe I do.
Would you mind just reading those 3 bullet points on the front sheet?
Sure. Dated March 8th. This is from Lucia Del Negro to the Zoning Board of Appeals. The property currently has an existing order of conditions, 55-861. However, the proposed changes would fall under an amendment request per DEP's Amendment Policy 85-4. To date, plans have been submitted to the commission. Commission staff is presently waiting for a formal amendment request to be filed. Please see DEP Amendment Policy language in the link above. Hayes Engineering has not responded. If they plan to formally submit an amendment request, staff has been waiting for confirmation. If the applicant believes this does not require an amendment, the applicant has been asked to submit said reasons in a written letter to be submitted to the commission before the April hearing deadline closes. The chairman will determine if the item can be placed on the agenda for discussion without the proper amendment paperwork. The commission will then need to vote if the item requires an amendment. It would behoove the applicant to file the appropriate amendment paperwork in a timely manner to limit any delays in the approval process.
Okay. So this is a previously granted variance that lapsed. Jack, you want to explain a little bit about this?
Yes. My name is John Kelty. I appear on behalf of FRH Realty LLC, which is an affiliate of Fairfield Residential Apartments. They are the proposed buyer of the property. This is a variance that had been granted in the past. While we worked our way through the rest of the process, the variance had expired. It's currently active. We currently have a variance, however, it is soon to expire. The thought of the buyers was that they would not complete their due diligence and actually purchase while this variance was still existing. We are now seeking that you reissue the variance. I've asked for 4 of the exact same, we have the exact same architects, exact same building. We flipped where the pool is located. We've asked for the same variances with respect to FAR, distance from our residential neighbor, and number of parking spaces. And the 4th aspect, which was our the FAR, the parking, density, 33 units per acre rather than 20 units per acre. This matter will be before the Conservation Commission. We have agreed to and have already made a filing. We will be heard in April. There is nothing that has changed that would impact the wetlands area, but that's for another matter. We're confident that we will appear before them in April and they will approve our amendment. The original discussion was as to whether we were properly asking for a minor modification. We've now agreed with the agent that we will ask for an amendment that has been filed. Following this hopeful grant of the variance, we will be back to you next month asking for our landscape plan to be substituted for what are the requirements that are set forth in the zoning ordinance for landscaping. This is the same variance we had asked for before and you did grant. However, the landscape page, the landscape sheet was not prepared, not completed when I had asked for these variances. So as such, where we asked for 5 in the past, we're asking for 4 this evening. The 5th will be asked for next month. And we will also be before the Conservation Commission next month, and the Community Development Authority will perform site plan review, and will hopefully have all of our permits complete with appeal periods having run in early May.
He's on.
And at that time, Fairfield will buy the property.
Am I unmuted? Well, that was quite a mouthful. Lots of information there, Jack. Thank you. So you are very, very well aware of the conservation issues. Is that correct?
Very, yes.
Okay. So we need to know if there are any comments or questions from the board.
No, I remember this one. I think we went through this one in a pretty detailed fashion back in 2018. I do
Yep.
remember this one. Looks like nothing's changed.
Eddie, you had something to say?
I have a question. Yes, I just caught something. The applicant, FRH Realty, they're not the current owner of the property?
They are not. The owner is reflected in item number 4, the 7 Dearborn Limited Partnership.
I understand that, but I thought I could be wrong that the applicant had to be the owner of the property based on meetings in the past few months. If I'm wrong, please correct me, board members.
Does it? I don't. Who's the potential buyer? What?
I don't believe it does, Ed. Whereas here we have, I think the one you're referring to previously was a little bit different. I think this one is, I think this was a different scenario.
Are you unmuted?
Yeah, you're unmuted, Frank.
So the potential buyers would like the variance before they buy it. That's correct, Attorney Kelty?
It is correct, but I think Ed's question was, does the applicant need to be the owner?
No.
Right. And quite often I'm the applicant for purposes of making the application in contact, et cetera. So.
Yep. You okay?
No, not necessarily. Stephen, which one did you think I was referring to? Not to put you on the spot.
No, I know which one you're thinking of. I just rather not say it. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I know from 2 or 3 months ago, I'm right, that it was stated that the applicant had to be the owner of the property. But that's okay. I made my point. We can go from there.
All right, any other comments by the board? Anybody in the audience? Anybody in favor or in opposition? Hearing none, the matter is before the board.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Do we want to approve with any of the Conservation Commission conditions or not?
They didn't make.
You're going to deal with the Conservation Commission yourself, correct?
Yes. We
Okay.
have to. Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve and a second roll call vote.
Dan,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Julie,
Yes.
Stephen,
Yes.
Fran.
Yes, the motion carries. It's been approved. You'll hear from Mrs. McGrath tomorrow. I now need a motion to accept the minutes from January 25th and February 8th.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor? Okay, great. The next meeting is a special meeting, March 22nd. The packets were mailed out. I'm sure you all have them. The meeting after that is April 12th, which will just be King Street. And after that, it will be a regular zoning board meeting on April 26th. In the meantime, we will, yeah. I don't have to say anything else other than I will see you all March 22nd. And sooner or later, I say it all the time, we will meet in person. We will not have to have computer glitches. We will be able to see real people to state what they have to say in person, and I can't wait. Everybody good? Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you next week.
Night,
Good night.
everybody.
Good night.
Good
See you
night.
next week.